Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. I am out here. It's morning time. Haven't done the farm chores or anything yet, but wanted to get a quick walk in. I did a quick little exercise video at home, like on the YouTube channel, just like a 10-minute morning workout. But I figured it's so nice and cool today that I'm gonna get a walk in as well, as I kind of chat about some things in my mind. I was thinking about something and I feel like I received confirmation of it yesterday because somebody messaged me and was telling me their story about how they used to use progesterone cream and all this other stuff to try to conceive, like maca root powder and whatnot. And she just recently got diagnosed with cancer, and I was doing my research on progesterone cream not too long ago, so that's why I feel like it was confirmation for me, because we really don't know, especially when we're doing it not under doctor care, although sometimes doctors prescribe things that do harm our bodies and cause cancer as well. But when we're applying things to our body and we don't know exactly what we're doing, what chemicals are in these lotions and creams, we could be causing harm in our body. So I decided I'm no longer going to take the progesterone cream. I'm going to go back to what I was trying to do in the first place, which is to do it as healthy and naturally as possible. Obviously, I need to get a lot of weight off of me, so I'm working on my weight loss again, eating healthy foods, just researching. There is foods and specific like vitamins that help you raise your progesterone naturally. You don't need like to introduce something to your body that's not natural. That's what I'm going to try to do for a bit. Just work on me, working on dropping some weight, eating as healthy as possible. None of that is going to hurt with the TTC journey, as long as I'm not dropping to the point where I'm underweight. It's funny because I've never been at like a healthy BMI. My lowest weight was 175. That was before I got pregnant. That was like after high school. I was 175 pounds, and for my height, which is 5'4", that's actually considered a little bit overweight. So I'm actually supposed to be around the highest of 140, which I find is kind of ridiculous because I felt like I was fine at the 175 range. But according to like the BMI charts, that is considered overweight. I don't want to get down to 140 or lower, like what they say I should be for my height and age. But I'm going to definitely work on losing weight because that cannot hurt at all. Being overweight can definitely hinder your TTC journey, and we shouldn't be content, we shouldn't be comfortable being overweight. I noticed the changes in my own body, like I notice I get out of breath a lot faster when I do exercise, or I'm just simply walking. I've had this pain like on the left side of my neck, kind of like when you have a crook in your neck. I've had that for months, along with like a pain on my left arm as well. Not like heart attack related, but like a muscle tightness, and I think that's due to being so overweight. I am currently weighing 225 pounds, and that's the highest I've ever been. The last time, oh, I got something wrapped on my foot. The last time I was in the 220 range is shortly after I had my daughter. So that's how much I was weighing after I gave birth to her. And like right before I got pregnant with my daughter, I was almost back at the 175 range because I was working on my weight loss, losing all the weight from my son that I had 2 years ago before I had my daughter. So just to kind of give you my point of view on how my weight is right now, I am definitely extremely overweight. I'm considered obese according to the BMI calculator. So I think getting down to closer to the range where I'm supposed to be on the BMI calculator it will only benefit me. So I'm going to just work on that, and I think your body just regulates itself. My hormones will regulate themselves eventually, especially if I'm consuming the vegetables and the fruits and stuff that has those vitamins in them. And maybe not, maybe in order for me to have a actual take-home baby in a full-term pregnancy, maybe I will need the help from progesterone or whatever other hormones that the doctor can prescribe me. But I will let the doctor make that decision for me if I do or when I do get pregnant again. Because if that's the case where I do need that help and that support because of the surgery that I had in the past where I got my tubal ligation, because it could very well be that I do need that support, but I'm not going to be applying it to myself in advance, especially like before I'm pregnant, because I definitely don't want to be harming my body. Instead of thinking that I'm helping myself, might be harming. For the past 2 cycles, I have resumed to spotting before AF arrives, and that's even on the progesterone cream. So that's telling me that it's no longer working. It's not, for a while I felt like it was working. It stopped my pre-AF spotting, but I don't know. I've been using it the last 2 cycles and have still spotted. I've had really heavy periods, and like with a lot of bleeding, more than what I'm used to, a lot of clotting, and I feel like that is not normal. My body's trying to tell me something is not right. So that's why I want to cut off anything that is just unnatural. Focus on exercise, focus on getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, eating the healthy foods that I know I'm supposed to be eating, and cutting out anything that I know I'm not. Specifically like grains, flours, all those high carb things, they just destroy my stomach. I get heartburn if I eat too much things with wheat in it. I definitely have some type of gluten intolerance, because if I have like a bad day where I'm eating lots of flour, pasta, bread, I'll actually have stomach problems that night. And then I'll start getting like a rash on my face, like itchy little patches of eczema. And so I do allow myself to eat some type of carbs, but definitely have to tone it down. I feel like that would help my body reduce all of the inflammation by just reducing the inflammatory foods for me, which is definitely bread and pastas, white starches. So I have to find some alternatives for that. I've heard of something that people have been using called einkorn flour. So I want to try to find that so I can still enjoy some baked items made with that. And maybe my body won't react to it like it does with regular flour. But like I was saying with my weight fluctuation, so I want to get my weight down. And I was just thinking about how amazing our bodies are, because when our bodies are ready to have a baby, there is no stopping it. When I got pregnant with my son, and before I was pregnant with my son, I actually struggled really bad with eating disorder. I used to starve myself. I used to go through months where I would only allow myself to eat 500 calories. I would track my little calories and wouldn't go over 500. And even with that, I was not severely underweight. Even with skipping meals and reducing my calories that high, I definitely experienced weight loss and dizziness, dizzy spells. I never actually like passed out or anything, but it's crazy to think that that's what I was doing to my body back then. And like they say, you shouldn't have caffeine when you're trying to conceive. I was basically living off energy drinks at one point, especially before I got pregnant with my son. Like before going to work, I would drink energy drink and I would eat candy. So I was living off pure sugar and energy drinks, and that would be my meal before going to work. That would pretty much be my dinner. And to think that with eating such low calories, feeding my body with pure junk in the form of liquid energy drinks and candy, like sometimes I would skip meals completely and then just eat like a bag of Skittles for my meal, and I would count that towards my calories. And somehow, some way, I was still able to conceive and have a perfectly healthy baby boy. That is just like mind-blowing. Like that's why I think that all of that, like the health, the foods that you eat, the caffeine, you should cut out caffeine, alcohol, whatever, when you're trying to conceive. I think we should take it with a grain of salt. Like, obviously it's not going to hurt to be healthy. You want to have a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby. You don't want to do anything harmful. But I think when our bodies are just ready to have that baby, when God's timing happens, nothing is going to stop it. So I'm not using that as an excuse. Like, I'm not going to start doing that again to see if I get pregnant, because obviously that would be harmful. But just wanted to share that with you. I was able to get pregnant while doing all of that insane stuff. So then when I got pregnant, and I was smoking back then too. I had dabbled in just smoking cigarettes back then. I don't know why. But shortly, as soon as I found out I was pregnant, stopped smoking, obviously stopped the energy drinks, stopped the candy. I was trying to eat as healthy as possible, but like, my body was in such emergency mode. Since I was starving myself for so many years, I just started binging on everything, and I gained a whole lot of weight when I was pregnant with my son. Then I gained even more 2 years later. I had lost almost all the weight, and then got pregnant with my daughter. Same thing, body's in starvation mode, wants to eat everything. And I did try to eat healthier with her, but that's when, after I had her, I was in the 220s range, so I definitely gained a lot of weight. Then after her, I've been up and down. I shared my weight loss story on here like 2 years ago, and I've been up and down in weight. But right now, despite not being pregnant or not staying pregnant, I am 225, and that's not an excuse from being pregnant and gaining pregnancy weight. That is just for me just getting lazy, just sitting around too much, scrolling on my phone, not eating healthy and eating too much, and definitely not cutting out the things that I know I'm supposed to be cutting out. So I think I need to just take a break, detox my body, try to treat my body as good as I can, and then I think things will line up and work out perfectly. And yeah, so I don't want to do anything extra for TTC, as in taking any type of vitamins, any type of lotions, just completely detoxing from everything and just trying to regulate myself naturally. So what else was I gonna say? Both of my last pregnancies with my son and daughter were obviously healthy the whole time. My son, he was actually born a week before his due date, and I remember I went into labor naturally with him. Then my daughter, she was actually late for her due date, but I'm not sure. I think the doctor rushed it. They did like the stress test on me back then, and she was worried and sent me in to get induced that same day. So I feel like the doctor rushed it back then. My son, when he was born right on time, he was 8 pounds 11 ounces. My daughter, she was like just perfectly 8 pounds. She was a really small baby. I actually found some old pictures of when she was a newborn. She was so itty bitty. But I feel like she could have stayed in longer. Maybe the doctor had my due date wrong, off by like a week or two. But she was born healthy, perfectly fine. None of my kids have had health problems, luckily, despite how horribly I treated my body back then. But I don't know. I feel like I need to get myself healthier, and I feel like that will help. But I don't think that's going to be like the secret key to it either. I just think that as we get older, it's harder for us to get pregnant, just like it's harder for us to lose weight. We lose energy, and I don't know. It's like everything's harder when you're older, and like your eggs are disintegrating, your body's becoming a little bit weaker, and all of that affects the TTC. I don't think it's all that what we eat or how overweight we are. It just has something to do with God's timing, the perfect time that your body wants to get pregnant and stay pregnant. There's just a lot of things to consider, a lot of factors that play in it. But I think even if I lose all the weight that I want and eat as healthy as possible, I will not conceive if it's not the right time or if it's not meant for me to have another baby. So I just want to work on myself, not with the goal of trying to get pregnant, but just work on myself and let what happens happens. I would really like to know if I am going to conceive and have another baby before we move out of state, because that plays a big factor on what our future house will look like. If we need to buy a house with an extra bedroom just in case. We're also going to do a whole switch up with our cars. We're going to try to sell the 2 cars that we currently have and just buy one 4x4 truck. So I guess having another child would affect that as well, because then we need to switch our car situation all over again. But all in God's timing. I have my full trust in God, and I have my full trust that I am able to get pregnant. Me not putting this artificial stuff on my body, it's not gonna have no effect. God is gonna make it happen. But anyway, I'm gonna do a couple of rounds back here. My camera battery is flashing at me. Later today around lunchtime, my son has an appointment to get his braces adjusted as well. And so we got a busy day today. I'm gonna try to get homeschool done before we have to go and leave for that. And just wanted to share my thoughts with you. Just wanted to share a little bit about my history before I got pregnant with my first 2 kids, how horribly I was treating my body back then, and still somehow God made a way. And in one way, I feel like God saved me with me getting pregnant with my kids. He saved my husband and I's relationship. He saved me from stopping all of this, what I was doing, starving myself, smoking, and all of that. He saved me from all of that, because as soon as I got pregnant, that all dropped. Unfortunately, I did gain all this weight, which now I have to deal with, but I definitely stopped the other harmful things that I was doing. I was throwing up my meals as well. I was consuming so many energy drinks, so much candy and sugar, and definitely not a good thing. But still, God made a way, and I was able to have healthy pregnancies with both of my children. So that is just amazing to me, and goes to show you that it's all in God's plan. But just wanted to share that with you, and to tell you that I'm just focusing on me and my health. Still going to share the testing videos, because we're definitely not preventing pregnancy, but I just want to be at a healthier state when I do get pregnant. I want to be able to have a belly bump and watch my stomach grow like I did with my other 2 pregnancies, because I feel like at the weight that I am now, like I would not even see a belly bump until way further along. And just being overweight, adding pregnancy on top of it, it could be a recipe for disaster. So I don't want to start my pregnancy off like that. So if that makes any sense to you, that is what's going on in my mind right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this update. I will see you guys in the next one. And don't forget to every day try to become a healthier you. See you guys.